Okay, so this one actually is good because it's a full tutorial, but the ironic thing was, so Dayton Matlick there from Pipes and Tobaccos magazine asked me to do this, and this is where, you know, this is just the guy in Bowmanville who doesn't always get around to everything, because he wanted me to write the article and they were going to put it in the magazine and then buy the pipe for the museum and it would be in and on and on. Basically all that, as far as it got, was they bought the pipe for the museum, and I didn't follow through on the article, unfortunately. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
looks like Richard.
Although I don't think Dayton's too mad. I have the Pipes and Tobaccos pipe this year, so that's good. And actually, just to
Tell us that.
yeah, it's the 2015.
What shape is it?
It's a Lovat. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, you're doing pipe of the year?
Pipe of the year, yeah. So that'll be good exposure and all that.
Yeah, never mind the money.
So
yeah, never mind all the hard work.
the whole idea is one of these like waves, sort of like tsunami style wave, and it's this. I don't do a lot of work like this anymore, where it's really just sort of free form, and I'm figuring it out as I go. This is for the brass ring inset, using the brass tube that the ring will be cut out of and making a saw with it, so you can cut a hole and then the hole matches the tube, of course, and you put the tube in like that.
Hanging out with Adam.
And then you do this. Although that was just an experiment. This one turned out a lot cleaner.
Exactly like
It
you.
looks exactly like my sample piece.
Yeah.
I did the
together,
exact
you
same
know.
thing.
Yeah, ram it together.
I
slam
did
some
the
glue
exact
in
same
there.
thing with the tube and making it into a saw.
Actually, this one's interesting. This shows when I work why I like squared blocks, because I can transfer lines. I can find center of the block, and if I flip the block to the other side, the center line should match up. And then sometimes if it's a bowl, like if it's a classic pipe, say, with a symmetrically round bowl, I could then flip the bowl onto its front face and trace a line, and that would be the center of the bowl. That's why, that's a part of my process. This is hard to explain. I'm just trying to figure some
so
stuff
many
out.
lines.
Yeah,
Like the
it's like,
subway map in London?
can't believe there's like crayons, there should be crayons. Yeah. And some of these are a little bit embellished for the magazine. That's really not that step wasn't actually, you know.
You're gonna
It
sand a
wasn't
whole
even
pipe on a
on.
1x30.
I know.
The sander wasn't even on.
Yeah, this step I'm actually doing something. Here I'm just kind of winging it, trying to maintain the shape I had initiated, and then checking. This is important. Checking, always checking back to make sure that the shape looks right from all sides. This is actually a really cool pipe.
Is this like something you did for Richard?
No, for Dayton, this Pipes and Tobaccos magazine, they do have this in the
I could
museum.
have swore
there.
I saw something that Richard had with this.
He bought. I had made another one before this, and he bought it maybe from Mike Gluckler, and it was made a year or two before.
That's right.
Yeah.
With the yellow or acrylic.
Tom Eltang saw that pipe, and he said, he's like, how did he say? He's like, oh, really nice shape and nice light finish. Too bad the grain isn't that nice. It's awesome. All right. This was a tremendous amount of sanding.
Oh god.
That was crazy. That was a lot.
Fingers were
What do
bleeding.
you, so you're measuring it
Oh,
here?
there's the blood.
Yeah. Fingers must have
Yeah,
been bleeding on
exactly.
this one.
You're measuring it here for some consistency?
I was checking, especially under here. So I use
Give it
this
the grant, that's like
loosely from
30
time to time, just
I'm
on the
just-
side.
yeah,
When I
I'm
pick my
2000
caliper to
wheel.
check, I'll just have a quick look here and there. The shape was really cool though.
What was that first part?
Is this stained at this point, Mike, or what's making it dark? Are you wetting it?
I start staining at around 600 grit, and that gets stain into the wood, because you find if you sand all the way to 1000 and then stain, you don't always get the penetration of the color. And plus, if there are sand pits that I'm trying to like work into the staining, I want to see like that I'm on the right track, what the wood's going to do for color. Yeah, this worked out quite well. I found I didn't have enough room to put the mortise here, so I threaded in an extension of ebonite, and then the mortise is there. And that actually worked out very well. You can't even see it on the stem, that it's a joint.
Is the brass raised?
No, but the shape cuts through the brass.
They sand at different rates, right? Brass and briar?
It's actually not too bad.
No?
Brass or briar and mammoth ivory would be worse. Or like trying to do something with titanium is
Yeah.
ridiculous, you know? It's just like
Like Nate?
yeah.
Yeah.
People want titanium on their bikes.
I used to do all kinds of stuff. I don't do much with titanium anymore. I don't do anything with titanium anymore. Yeah. And this is the cutting of the stem, the turning of the tenon.
Good to know you don't do this part on the drill press.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I do is, when I make a stem, say ebonite or acrylic, I'll use a Delrin tenon. I find it fits, it maintains a better fit. But gluing Delrin, that we were just saying, can be a little tricky. So, although this is what I used to do in ebonite, but I don't anymore because I find they shift a bit. So it's Delrin these days. It can be tricky. And this is the filing of the stem. Yeah, these are sort of. And then the slot cutting, which is tricky. Bending of the stem, which was horrible on this one, because you couldn't clamp the pipe. This pipe was. Sometimes these pipes turn into hot potatoes. They're just so like fragile. Not that it was exactly fragile. You don't want to scratch it or knock it. And how do you hold it?
Too many sharp edges. You
What
put
magic
on.
is happening here?
I'm doing the bowl coating there.
It was always meant.
Do you need the actual pipe to bend the stem? You couldn't just like
I
use a
prefer-
dummy?
I prefer because the curve. Okay, this and buffing a pipe like that is
A nightmare.
yeah.
How do you not get rounded?
Yeah, yeah. So you know, kind of, it's
How do you not catch an edge and toss that thing?
yeah. Just carefully, lightly. No, because you want. I bend the stem to the shape. I really like to see the shape of the pipe.
It's like a hand.
And I like to see the whole top, so I know how far I'm bending it to.
So that this has to be
Don't tell
parallel
Jeff
to the
that this
bowl
has got a
top,
big
is that
chip
what you're saying?
Usually a bit like so, but it depends on the pipe.
Oh, okay.
So you can't really see in here. That's where the joint is, which is really cool.
Just the speed.
You cannot see it. You couldn't actually. Maybe you can see it ahead. You can't really see it.
It is.
Awesome.
I think turned out really cool.
Yeah, you did.
Like, did you didn't, that scene that you were talking about, it is pretty, you can't see it at all, eh?
You can't see
Yeah,
it. It's
it's
right there.
awesome.
Yeah.
And so you didn't even, did you consider maybe doing like some sort of accent ring to,
I didn't want to though.
No,
'Cause
I
I didn't want
wouldn't
the
either,
look.
but
I wanted it to be as clean as possible. And see how nice that turned out?
yeah,
It's
that's
not
that's
really
beautiful.
good.
It really was a special
That's
thing. Yeah.
awesome. Wasn't it always meant to be smooth, or?
That was the idea. Well, it was commissioned by the Pipe magazine. It was
Yeah.
like,
So they got it's like
let's do
bar
you know,
set.
yeah.
Let's go all the way with this.
So, how much did the grain influence the shape? Because I notice here, you can see, especially somewhere here, you've got bird's eye on the front, and then the wave sort of maintains the line of the grain.
In the words of
Is that all intentional?
That
Were you trying to maintain the flow of the grain when you were designing that shape of the wave?
Yes, like those straight grains.
Yes.
So I took the block and I wanted the grain to project through the shape that way, and then I drew the waves, you know, with this in mind. But it wasn't. It's not like a precise thing. It just sort of followed the flow.
Yeah. That's weird, man. That's
I guess it
crazy.
starts with initial placement,
So
right?
you just pick one thing.
Yeah.